Titles, go.
Kangaroo.
The Iron Chef returns.
I ate everything.
It was just okay.
He was a Viking.
Creepy guy plays Flash.
Gentlemen only.
It was just a full Corbs.
All right, Ensign Jack, take us out.
Let's do it.
Warning. What you are about to hear contains explicit language, adult themes, and potentially disturbing content. The views and opinions expressed are those of the hosts and do not reflect the opinions of anyone else, anywhere, ever, in the history of the world. This podcast is intended for an immature audience and should not be listened to by anyone, anywhere, ever, in the history of the world. You know, fuck it. You've been warned.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Geek Pod. I'm your host, not Paul.
Yes, I'm Corbs.
I'm Kev.
Steve, Bert, Ernie, Marge. I'll be Jack.
Works for me. All right, guys. So other than not having to look at Paul for 2 hours with his hat on backwards like he's auditioning for Limp Bizkit, what's got you geeked?
I got something. I do. This time I do. Okay.
All right, you go first.
Okay. So I've had some pretty great weeks, weekends, weeks, whatever, last few weeks. This last weekend was one of them. On a whim, I decided to go motorcycle camping. So
Saw that on your Facebook.
yeah, I posted some pictures. So what that is, for anybody who doesn't know, is you have a motorcycle and you put all your stuff on your motorcycle and you go find a place to set up a tent and you hang out for the night and then you go ride and maybe you do it the next night or whatever. I just did it for one night because I was meeting some friends on Sunday in the Adirondacks up in Old Forge. And on a whim on Saturday, I'm like, well, I'm going to get out all my old camping gear that I haven't used in years because my back hurts when I lay on the ground, and I'm going to try it out. And my freaking back was killing me. It was the worst night of sleeping I've ever had. The pad is like this thin under your sleeping bag, on the ground. It's not enough. I mean, I'm just too old for that to be enough anymore. As it was, I did end up getting some sleep. But the rest of the experience is what really, sorry about the light. The rest of the experience is what really made the awesome weekend. I got to go and hang out in this really cool campsite up in Limekiln Lake State Park, which is up in Inlet, New York, just north of Old Forge. And it's a great campsite. It's a great campground. And, I went and got some firewood and made a little fire. Met some nice neighbors. My neighbors next door were motorcycle riders, and they had recently sold their last motorcycle, and they were doing, the whole camper thing, the little teardrop camper thing behind their truck. And they were an older couple. And I met another couple that was on in a motorcycle sidecar that happened to be in the BMW club that I've recently become a member of. You don't have to own a BMW motorcycle to be in a BMW club, as I found out. And I did not know that. Even though I helped with a lot of the rides, I didn't know that they allowed people to be in a club that were not BMW owners, but they do. So here I am. Anyway, I didn't know they were members, but anyway, that was pretty cool that I saw them. And what else happened? It was a great weekend. Two of the guys that were supposed to show up didn't show up, so it's just me and another guy rode around some of the dirt roads up in the Adirondacks and just had a great time up Stillwater. Saw the barge coming in from over at Norwich Walk. The barge bringing some vehicles over. It was pretty cool. Watch them unload it. Pretty simple operation. But now, so to continue the theme, the wife and I are headed off to Stowe leave Friday morning and come back Monday. I guess we have Monday off. I don't know.
Observing Juneteenth. That's
a holiday. Okay. Well, definitely the company I work for celebrates Juneteenth. They give us the day off. So we're going to go up there for 4 days. Kathy rides her own machine. She's got a Can-Am Riker, which is actually a 3-wheel motorcycle, 2 in the front and 1 in the back, and she loves it. She has a great time with it. So she wants to ride to Stowe, so we're riding to Stowe. We already got an Airbnb, and that's what's got me geeked. I'm pretty happy about it.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, sounds like a good time.
It does. Do you need somebody in a sidecar? Because I'll volunteer this weekend.
I don't have a motorcycle and sidecar. I have often thought about buying one, but I don't have the room for one right now. But I would love to drive one someday and then find out if I would actually like to own one.
See, we should get one of those, and then we should go on a motorcycle trip together, Kev. And I can have a GoPro attached to my head, and I'll be like the pig from like the Geico commercial. Like, wee, this is fun. Sorry, but no, that's awesome.
You got to have a pinwheel.
Yeah,
I
I would have 2 pinwheels.
I don't doubt it. So Jack, what's got you geeked?
Spoiler free. My girlfriend and I went to see the new Jurassic Park movie this past weekend.
Oh,
And reviews are coming out, and I didn't listen to them. I never do, and they're pretty bad. But I'm usually hard at grading movies, but overall, not bad. I didn't mind it. Like, it was just literally from start to finish, new school versus old school. I know, but I just didn't mind it. I thought it was all right. It was a good movie to watch. The script was okay. Like, it was nothing the best thing in the world, but yeah, you have Jeff Goldblum, Laura Dern, and in my opinion, I'm not gonna lie, Sam Neill, that guy does not age at one bit. That guy's really cool to see on camera. Literally, when he came on camera, my girlfriend looked at me. She's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "I guess I'm gushing over Sam Neill right now." But that guy, literally, his beard is like silver. Like, he's got that Indiana Jones hat. Like, the character literally is like a rustic Indiana Jones paleontologist. So it was kind of cool. Like because Laura Dern, like, you can definitely tell throughout all the movies they definitely liked each other, but they never did anything. But like, she's like, so he's like, "Are you married?" And she's like, "I'm divorced." I'm like, "There's your in, buddy. There's your in." But just watching the movie, it was really cool seeing like the action. BD Wong's character was really cool to see again. Like, you had a mix of like I said, it was old school versus new school. You had a couple surprises at the end. They tie everything together. Movie Tavern, like, of course, like, it's always interesting when you go there because like you have people talking during the movie sometimes. Yeah, like, you're always like, okay, I'm trying to watch the movie, but like I'm trying to play it cool because I'm with my girlfriend. I'm like, okay, please stop talking, just trying to enjoy the movie. But overall, I would probably give the movie a 6.5 out of 10. Like I said, I'm not gonna say like it's the best thing in the world, but it wasn't the worst thing. It wasn't the worst thing, but it wasn't the best thing. But it was very good to see, and like I said, it wrapped it all up. Please don't make any more Jurassic Park movies. You have 6. You have 6 movies. No more you need. But overall,
They're not going to listen to you.
no, of course they're not going to listen to me. So
Yeah, I guess they're gonna wait, but they're already talking about another one.
yeah,
it works for Fast and the Furious. Just keep making them.
I've never seen one Fast and the Furious movie, actually, believe it or not.
I'm
Really?
addicted. I'm addicted.
Yeah, what were you gonna say, Corbs? Go.
They're talking about making one more of Fast and the Furious or 2 more. I think they're doing 2. They're filming them side by side or whatever. Yep, but they're done after that, Kev. That's what they're saying. They're done after.
Then they'll move on to the TV series.
Clearly.
Well, and then you got the spinoffs. I mean, they got the Hobbs and Shaw, and then I'm sure they'll spin off something else. So you'll see a bunch of spinoffs from that. So
Yeah,
So-
sure.
So two things I have to say. Your movie review really doesn't make me want to see it, although I still want to see it. And the other thing I have to say is since I did bring up Fast and Furious, that was a complete chance that the wife and I saw it because it was during a time where we used to go to the movies, but we'd go to the movies on a Friday night and we did not have a plan what we would watch. We would go there, look at the posters on the wall, pick a movie, and watch the movie.
I like that.
That's how we saw Fast and the Furious, and I've been addicted to it ever since.
wow.
That's actually really cool. I like to hear that. That's really cool.
You know anything about tuner cars? Who the fuck? I grew up in Mexico and New York. I didn't know about tuner cars.
Kev's body shop right there.
So what's got you geeked, Cord?
For me, so on last Friday night, it's my son's last full week of school. He had Monday and Tuesday this week. He was off today, well, off Wednesday. So he had Monday, Tuesday, off Wednesday. He's got a test Thursday, test Friday, then they're done for the summer. He's done for the summer.
Okay.
So Friday night, we decided to take him out. Decided to take him out to dinner. So my mom and I I asked Bryce where he wanted to go, and he, of course, being a 14-year-old, he had no clue where he wanted to go. His best answer is, I don't know. And I keep telling him I don't know where that restaurant is. So finally, I was like, well, let's make a plan. So we decided we'd go to the Turning Stone and see if we could get into Seven Kitchens, which is the new buffet.
Yeah.
And if it was too long of a wait, we were going to come back and go to Sylvan Beach and go to Spaghetti Factory. So we got to the Turning Stone and it was a 45-minute wait. So we decided to kind of wait, wanted to see what it was like. Waited maybe 15 minutes before we got a call that our table was ready.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. We were in, like I said, 15 minutes in, sat down. It's a bit on the expensive side. The price has gone up from the old buffet, but new buffet, it's all been redone. Ripped up all the carpet, put in tile floor. They moved all of the cookers around. They've moved around. They've changed some of the style of the inside, which is pretty cool. But it was just, it was just a good time. And I went just because I used to love going to the buffet. I used to take my son there, even when he was, 6 years old, 7 years old. We would take him out there every once in a while. We'd go out there and hit the buffet or whatever. And my mom would hit the table or hit the machines or whatever for an hour or whatever, or something like that. We didn't do any gambling this time, so it was just kind of nice. They've been open since the end of April, so we kind of figured maybe it would be early enough to go and it wouldn't be too bad. So it was just a great time. We had great food. The food always there is always good. So
What'd you eat, bro? Come on.
oh shit, I eat everything, brother.
What'd you eat? Come
I
on.
had chicken parm, chicken riggies, meatballs, sausage, pork loin, mashed potatoes. What else did I have? Mom got the peel and eat shrimp. Now they used to have the small little peel and eat shrimp. They got the freaking huge ones now. The jumbo shrimps, which is nice. All you can eat peel and eat shrimp. Thing that was pretty cool was normally they, you could go to the grill and they would make, or the flat iron, they'd make you anything you wanted. Quesadilla, chicken quesadilla, regular cheese quesadilla, or grilled cheese sandwich. Well, now they do a special. And the grilled cheese sandwich is under the specials, and they weren't making it that night. But the head chef came over, and I was talking to the girl about making a grilled cheese sandwich. She's like, "Well, we're not doing that. It's not the special today." He goes, "But I'll make you one specifically." So he went and they made one for my son and stuff. So that was pretty cool that they actually just made a one-off for us. I don't know how often they do that stuff, but that was just pretty nice. It made my son's night that he was able to get that, and then he ate the whole bowl of mac and cheese that they put out. He loves their mac and cheese. Like he got 3 helpings of it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it was just good. Like I said, a bit on the pricey side, but I mean it's not something you're going to go to every week or even every month. It's now going to be kind of a once off, maybe once every couple months you go there type of thing. It's that expensive now, but I get the fact that they haven't been there and whatnot. So, but it was nice. It was just a good time. It was just the 3 of us, my mom and my son. Drove out there, picked up a couple cigars while I was out there for me and my buddy. We play golf. We usually smoke a cigar, so I picked up a couple. I picked up a couple. I stopped by and saw him on the way home. I dropped the cigar off, and then we met up to play golf on Saturday morning. So, which is nice, relaxing night. So,
Cool.
Well,
Yeah.
That sounds like it was a lot of fun.
It was a good time.
Good, that's
All right.
awesome.
Well, I don't know about you guys. I've been incredibly busy with, the stuff going on with my mom this past week. I haven't really had time to play any games. Is anybody playing anything new that's worth talking about?
Nah.
No,
What do you don't have anything that's got you geeked though, Hugh? I mean, I know you've been
Oh,
busy.
you're right. You know what? The order's throwing me off. I do have something that's got me geeked. Thank you. I discovered that in 2005, they did a Kitchen Confidential sitcom. It only lasted a season, not even a full 20 episodes. But it's based on Anthony Bourdain's autobiographical book, Kitchen Confidential, that, blew open the world of restaurants in New York and all that. with all of the people. Some of the, there's a guy called Jack Bourdain, and he's the lead character. And some of the stories in his book, he actually does in the show. Some of them are done by other characters. But here's the thing: you know who plays Jack Bourdain?
Jack Bourdain.
Bradley Cooper.
Ooh.
Bradley.
Oh yeah,
Cooper.
yeah. I remember that
Yeah,
TV
it's
show.
Bradley Cooper,
yeah.
John Cho. I mean, it's got a Frank Langella is the owner of the restaurant. It's got a great cast. Yeah, here we go. Kev's looking it up.
What's the name of it again?
Kitchen Confidential.
Kitchen Confidential.
Those were some good actors right there.
Yeah, and I started watching it, and I'm enjoying it. I'm sad I got one episode left, but even just that one little slice of something I didn't know existed. It's so bizarre that they would have made a sitcom about that. Really happy that they did. It even has, if you've seen the movie Waiting, the restaurant movie Waiting,
Yep.
the young kid who shows up, he's the new waiter and he's trying to get a job. The actor who plays him also plays the young cook in the back of the kitchen.
Oh my God.
With the job, who takes everyone's shit. It's hilarious. And the other thing I'm excited about is Iron Chef is back, but I can't watch it because I'm here. So I'll watch it tomorrow. But I'm excited about Iron Chef returning.
Nice.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's a show that actually you just said those three actors, and I'm probably gonna take a look myself.
Yeah. I mean, it's not groundbreaking, but it's funny. I think it's worth it.
You're looking for
Yeah. But yeah, okay. So did we determine nobody's playing anything we want to talk about currently?
no.
All right.
I've been outside too much.
That's a good thing.
Agreed,
Working.
Kevin.
Ain't working.
That's a very good thing.
Then I guess it's time for, wait for it, Kev's Tabletop Review.
I got a fun one for you guys this time. Now, I'm always trying to give you guys something that, and this is an actual review. This is not, I'm not going to talk about Star Wars Celebration, believe it or not. I always try to give you guys something that you can get other people involved with or in that that isn't super high end, super difficult. This is one of those games. And it is called, and I lost my page there. It is called Wingspan. And in Wingspan, you are bird enthusiasts, researchers, bird watchers, ornithologists, and collectors, seeking to discover and attract the best birds to your network of wildlife preserves. Each bird extends a chain of powerful combinations in one of your habitats. So this is a combination. I'll read you the list of mechanisms in this game: contracts, dice rolling, end game bonuses, hand management, once per game abilities, open drafting, set collection, solo, solitaire game. I've been listening to Hugh, paying attention because this is a big deal. I think it's more of a big deal to a lot of people than just Hugh and I, because I think that's a really cool thing. And turn order is progressive. So those are some of the mechanisms. Now I'm going to read you a little bit about the game, a little bit more about the game. So it's a competitive, medium weight, card driven, engine building board game from Stonemaier Games, designed by Elizabeth Hargrave, features over 170 birds illustrated by Beth Sobel, Natalia Rojas, and Ana Maria Martinez. These cards with the birds on them in this game, they look like they come out of an Audubon book. I'm telling you, this is something that my grandmother would have liked. I could have gotten her to play this game. And this is exactly why I was thinking that this would be very cool. This is number 2 on the 50 top most played games on BoardGameGeek.com. Right now, what they do is they take a measurement of all the people that report to them and the games they're talking about playing. And they take unique hits and they build their top 50 list. This is number 2. Very, very cool. All the cards, and you get it's not really a board that you all play on, but you get your own board. It's like a mat that you have to fill out with all of your collections, your card collections, and you have eggs, and you have these little tiles, and you at the end of 4 rounds, what does it say? Winner is, okay, the habitats focus, so collecting the habitats focus on several key aspects of growth. Gain food tokens via custom dice in a bird feeder dice tower, really cool, comes with the game. Lay eggs using egg miniatures in a variety of colors. Draw from hundreds of unique bird cards and play them. The winner is the player with the most points after 4 rounds. This game has a weight of 2.45 out of 5, so it is still on the easier side of the games. 1 to 5 players. They say community has been playing it in 1 to 4, and they say the best is about 3 players. 40 to 70 minutes of playtime, ages 10 and up. Overall rank on, or a score on BoardGameGeek.com, 8.1. This is one of those games that looks really, really nice, appears to be relatively easy to learn and play, and it has some very, very attractive game pieces that can make, that adds a little bit of extra desire to play the game, to handle the pieces, to have them, you collect them as part of the game. I'm looking at the dice tower right now, and the dice are not traditional dice. Each of the die has a special symbol on it that represents part of what the game has to offer. This is a game that I would love to add to my collection for the exact reasons why I've already mentioned. I honestly think this would be a lot of fun to have in the shelf, or on the shelf, in the cupboard for those mixed folks that you might have that might want to play a game, but maybe a game of poker or something that's a little bit too mundane. This could be that thing that brings everybody together. Wingspan.
That sounds like a lot of fun. I bet kids would like it too, just because of the involvement of the animals.
I think so. I think you're right.
My dad doesn't like to play games, but he's been getting into like this bird calling app. But I'm really serious though, Kev. If you do get that game, when we all get together for game night, I might buy a copy myself. That actually does sound. How much does it cost? Do you have?
Let's see what we have for buy a copy. Right now, I'm seeing on the low end $33, retail $55. So if I find used, yeah.
You will buy me a copy?
There you are, Jen. My tricks don't only work on the
No, he was doing this. He's a proud boy.
Oh yeah.
It's the Liam Neeson Qui-Gon Jinn kind one.
All right. Well, guys, we're clipping right along here. I don't know what's going to pop up next because Paul still has to edit this shit together, even though he's not here. But I think we're going to throw it to commercial, and we'll be back with the news.
Looking for the hottest new comic on the shelf or a keyback issue to complete your run? How about that rare statue or action figure that you've scoured the internet looking for? Come to Collectibles Galore, located in North Syracuse with ample off-street parking. Collectibles Galore has a huge selection of comics, toys, and rare pop culture items you won't find anywhere else. Comics Galore is always buying comics and toys and will give you the fairest price for your collection. New customers get 15% off their first purchase in store. Collectibles Galore for all of your pop culture needs. Stop in and see for yourself why Collectibles Galore is the king of comics. Fourth annual Sci-Fi Horror Fest is coming with an all-new location, new guests, and all the same fun, charm, and camaraderie that you've come to know and love. Sci-Fi Horror Fest has a new home for 2022 at the Vernon Downs Casino and Hotel in Vernon, New York. Sci-Fi Horror Fest will be held on August 26th and 27th. Sci-Fi Horror Fest is a family-friendly event featuring fun activities, vendors, and a media area with an eclectic group of podcast personalities. Exciting celebrity guest appearances will be announced soon. For more information and to purchase tickets, go to www.sci-fi-horrorfest.com. Sci-Fi Horror Fest is currently looking for volunteers. This is your chance to be a part of the fun. Please note, details of the event are subject to change due to any lasting issues due to COVID-19.
Now, before you spend way too much in Oswego, New York, and realize that every get-together looks like a front lawn full of Henry Rollins cosplayers, here's the news. First up, the fastest crazy alive. Last week, Flash star Ezra Miller made more headlines as he was accused of grooming an 18-year-old girl since she was 12. The girl is currently with him, and her parents filed a restraining order on her behalf against him. They accuse him of using drugs, alcohol, and violence to control her. The courts have been unable to find him to serve him the paperwork, but he just popped back up on social media. He posted, "You cannot touch me. I am in another universe." The next one read, "Message from another dimension." There were several other unhinged posts alluding to hidden conspiracies against him, so apparently he thinks that he has traveled to another universe and cannot be found. Damage control, Warner Brothers. At this point, I don't see how they can possibly release a movie with him starring. Please get him committed. Johnny Depp can get away with scandal. Ezra Miller is just the creepy guy none of us wanted to play the Flash anyway. Next up, waiting. Waiting never changes. Bethesda Software finally commented on the future of the Fallout franchise. They stated that Fallout 5 will come after Elder Scrolls 6. That game is currently in pre-production and has been for a number of years. Based on this information, I will be well into my 50s before the next Fallout game is released. That's not even a joke. While I appreciate that they take their time, they still release the buggiest games in the industry. So they aren't taking that much time to really fix things. You don't have to release an installment for each fucking generation, make it generational. I'm not asking for yearly releases, but a decade between releases is a bit much. I don't need to pass Fallout down to my grandchildren like the Sword of fucking Destiny. And finally, this town needs a dance number. The Joker sequel I reported on last week has added a new wrinkle to its mystique. It is now rumored to be a musical. Now, my reaction should be fuck right the fuck off like Rudy Giuliani asking for a bar tab. But after some thought, maybe this isn't a bad thing. It gives them another nomination category for the Academy Awards. Album sales could boost the bottom line as well. Joaquin has musical talent, and they can make a Ring of Fire reference. And it means there will be absolutely no chance of there being a Joker 3. It will be critically acclaimed and all, but seriously, songs about cutting people up and playing with their insides is not going to have the same wide appeal as The Greatest Showman, especially if Harley Quinn is in the mix. But I really want to see it. It might be the best bad idea ever. And that's the news, kids. Now, I want to talk about a Heineken commercial I saw on TV over the weekend. In this commercial, for their alcohol-free option, Heineken Zero, we see a group of friends at a bar. One friend shows up sipping a soda, and they all stop and give him dirty looks. First off, good for you, brave nameless friend. It takes courage to show up to a bar and order a Coke when everyone else is drinking. Maybe he had to drive, or maybe he had an alcohol problem. And if that was the case, publicly outing himself as an addict in order to hang out with his friends should be commended. Secondly, how dare you, all of his friends? Unsupportive to say the least. Does the sight of him not drinking remind you that you too might be developing a problem? Are you starting to not remember everything that happened the night before? Are you waking up with people of questionable hygiene? What is it you want? Do you want him to drink and go home and beat the shit out of his family just so you aren't made uncomfortable? Fuck you, horrible friends. And fuck you, Heineken, for validating the idea that you have to have some sort of beer in your hand to have fun and be accepted. I hope your entire marketing department gets monkeypox inside their rectums. Me? And in other news, female kangaroos and most marsupials have 3 vaginas. Back to you, Corbs.
What?
Wow.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Are they party girls?
They're kangarooing.
Kangarooing.
All right, there you go.
Kangarooing.
I like that one.
That's going in there. That's going in. Kangarooing.
Maybe it's in case one of their vaginas gets kangarooed.
Oh.
Wow. That just went there.
Thank you for another one for the list.
All right, what do you got for us, Corbs?
So this week I'm going to talk. Obviously, I'm going to talk a little golf. Shocking, I know. 3 weeks in a row, I talked golf. There you go, Kev.
Strengthen your shaft.
Stop stroking your shaft, Jack. So this week is the men's U.S. Open. I know 2 weeks ago was the women's U.S. Open. This week is the men's U.S. Open. Now, the big controversy with the men's US Open is the Live Golf Tournament. So these guys that renounced their or resigned their place with the PGA all get to play. Well, not all of them, but most of them are playing in the US Open this week. A lot of the big names, Dustin Johnson, Bryson DeChambeau, all these guys that went to the Live Golf Tournament that can no longer play on the PGA Tour, they've been suspended. But the US Open is just that. It's an open tournament. Anybody can qualify and anybody can play in it. Now, if you've won a tournament in the past year or 2 years, or even the US Open in the past 5 years, you can go in and play, no questions asked. They can't keep you out, nothing. So these guys that are playing on the Live Tour that can go in and play in these tournaments, they are. And the guys that are on the PGA Tour are mad because these guys have, taken the money and basically ran to this tournament, this other association, golf league, whatever you want to call it, for the paydays. Now, there's not a lot of guys playing in the league, but the guys I golf with, we were joking around, when we were on the golf course. The guy who finished in last place at the Live tournament last week was like 22 over par. Okay, the guy who won, I think, was like 6 or 7 under par. So we joked around that, shit, they wanted to throw millions of dollars at any of us. We could go and play in this tournament because, we shoot under 22 on 22 over par. It would be nice to, make $10 million to go and play on a golf league. I mean, no offense. I mean, if you want to pay me $10 million to come play, I'm all for it. But it's just the controversy is all these guys that are coming from the Live Tour to play in the US Open, the guys that are on the regular tour don't appreciate it. So there shows a lot of animosity between guys and stuff. Guys that have been friends for years on the tour are now at each other's at odds with each other. They may still be friends, but they don't agree with some of the choices they've made. Stuff like that. The CEO for the PGA is basically said that they're going to readjust the qualifications for these guys to get into the tournament. So these guys that are playing the Live Tour will have to basically jump through hoops to get into these tournaments now. So if you've won there's tournaments that if you've won, you can play it. You can play the rest of your life. If you win the Masters, you can go and play the Masters every year, and from the time you win it, that next year until the day you die, you can play on that. You can play in that golf tournament. Nobody can keep you out of it. So U.S. Open is just that. It's open. British Open is the same thing. It's an open tournament. So these guys can go and play. And the only one that is the issue is the PGA Championship. And that's run by the PGA. So that one they probably could keep them out of. But I don't see how they're going to keep these guys out of some of these open championships because these guys can just go and qualify. They can go through qualifying the day, the Monday before or the week before. There's a qualifying, and there's qualifying all over the nation. They can go in. You can go and play. I think it's a 2-day tournament. If you win, you're in the U.S. Open. The first 2 guys, actually, it's the first 2 guys. I'll get it. They both get it. If you're in the first top 2, you make the U.S. Open. So it's just that. So if these guys, if they're keeping them out, they can go and qualify and play. No, they got to qualify.
There's your shot, Corbs. Go do it.
Yeah, I'm not that good.
Well, if all the really good guys keep jumping to Live for the money, you might be that good.
That's true.
Yeah, the last guy shot 22 over. You could have a shot.
I could definitely shoot under 22 par. I could go play in the Live Tour. I could. So
can I be your caddy if we go?
Well, if you don't give me the right club, I'll beat you with my club on the course.
You need more than one
That's fair.
caddy, but you need to tell us what club you want, and all the clubs have to be labeled.
Really?
Color
Really?
coded.
Hey,
Color coded.
Kevin, tell me you know nothing about golf without saying you know nothing about golf.
Kev would look like he'll be a good caddy. I could see him being a caddy though.
I think he'd be a caddy. The mustache would bring in the ladies.
I think so.
I'm gonna be
The
a drunk.
mustache could probably pick the golf clubs without labels.
I'm gonna
The
be a
mustache
drunk.
cleans the golf balls too.
So that's all I got for
I want
sports.
to drive the cart.
No, they don't do carts. You got to walk. That's the only issue that I got.
Good exercise, bro.
Yeah, and the thing of it is, in the PGA Tour, you have to wear pants. You have to wear slacks. You have to wear khakis. You can't wear shorts. Now the caddies is different. The caddies can wear shorts and stuff like that.
Huh.
The players themselves cannot wear shorts. They can't wear mesh shorts. They can't wear any type of shorts while
Why?
playing. Don't know. It's just it's
Well,
in their bylaws.
Is
And
the PGA all men?
Yes, there's the PGA and there's the LPGA.
Oh, LPGA. I got it.
And the
Got it.
ladies, the LPGA. Now, ladies, they can wear skirts, they can wear shorts, they can wear pants. I'm sure the guys could probably wear skirts if they wanted to, but I'm not sure you want to see.
Doesn't
Tiger
sound like
Woods.
it.
I don't want to see Tiger Woods in a skirt. I'm sorry.
I believe most of the ladies wear skirts.
True, good point.
Wasn't Condoleezza Rice one of the first women that was brought into Augusta or something like that? That was like pretty
Yeah.
recent. Yeah, that's
Yeah, it was. Yeah. There was a big thing. Honestly, 10 years ago, maybe because for the longest time, Augusta didn't allow women. Golf when it was first originated didn't allow women. That's what golf stands for. Gentlemen only, ladies forbidden. That's what golf stands for.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know
Good
that.
question.
I'm starting to like golf a lot more.
Hey, don't say that too loud. It'll get changed.
It's true. So, but that's it. I mean, it starts tomorrow. They were joking around that if Rory McIlroy, who's on the PGA, and Justin Thomas, who's on the PGA, and Dustin Johnson and Bryson DeChambeau, who are on the LIV Tour, are the last four, the top four at the end of the weekend on Sunday. It's going to be a PGA versus LIV. That's what they'll bill it as. So.
Watch Rory McIlroy and Tiger Woods start playing really good in the PGA now, because like these guys, and like you said, you could have a tournament versus tournament.
Yeah. So
Or the PGA guys might show up in the bathroom all dismembered. So.
that's true.
Didn't Tiger drop out? Like he was asked to go further, but he said he wasn't going to do it this year.
He's playing a little bit. I mean, he was in a car accident.
Right.
I want to say 16 months ago, broke both his legs.
He had a real hard time in this last tournament he was in.
He
walking
did.
and standing. It was just tough on him.
Yeah. He played in the Masters and made the cut at the Masters, but you could see when it got cold. I think the third day, Saturday, was really cold down there. And he struggled. He struggled to get around the golf course. So I don't know from personal experience, but my best friend, who I golf with, my best friend Justin, broke both his legs. He at a football game here in Syracuse. He actually had to have a halo put on one of his legs, on his right leg. 52 staples on his right leg. He's got something like 32 pins in his leg and his ankle. They basically had to reconstruct his leg and ankle. And then he had a mallet fracture on his knee. I don't know if you know what a mallet fracture is, but the kneecap, when the femur comes down on top of it, it hit right in the middle of it and took a huge chunk and drove it into his kneecap. So they had to pull that out, and he had to have that screwed back into place. He was bedridden for 3 months. Like he physically had a hospital bed in his living room with a halo on his leg. He couldn't get up, couldn't go. He had to do his business in the middle of the living room. They had to bring in a portable toilet for him. So I know exactly what Tiger Woods went through. It's not fun, and it's hard to come back from. So for him to actually be out there and walking the golf course, and it's a golf course, it's not flat. It's hilly. There's bumps in the ground, so you can twist your ankle, anything like that. Somebody like that, if he does something like that, it's not anything that you want to mess around with. So for him to be out there is fantastic.
Well, then maybe you shouldn't give him shit if he wants to wear a skirt out there. Be an ally, Corbs.
If he wants to wear a skirt, go for it. I'm just saying. I don't really want to see it, but
You have a little breeze come up though.
maybe there might be somebody out there who wants to. I mean, it is Pride Month, so
It is Pride Month.
Oh, we should.
There you go, Corbs. I like plugging that. Very good.
All right. So if that's all we got for sports, I guess, Jack, do you have some erroneous questions of the week for us?
I might.
Mike, can you look around, see if you can find them?
Sure. Some Cracker Jacks. some COVID tests.
I like Cracker Jacks.
I know, I have to share them with you, Kev.
The prizes suck now, though.
What are the prizes?
I don't know. They're like fucking tattoos.
Okay, yeah, that we don't want that.
The
All right.
prize is a box of full of fun.
Kev, you really like Cracker Jacks, man. I'm gonna get you some. All right.
You know,
So-
sometimes I fart and it smells like Cracker Jack.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Keep your Cracker Jacks.
I mean,
I'm good.
if Kev is so excited now, he's so
I'm
happy.
good.
Keep
I'm
him. I'm good.
No more Cracker Jacks for Kev.
Call me the spoiler.
His face looks so sad. All right. How about this one? As you know, I'm a history geek, and we'll do some history trivia questions this week. So, first one I have for you: who was the first European to land in North America? So it's a famous explorer. Who was the?
And this isn't as easy as Christopher Columbus, right?
No, it's not.
prior
No.
to that, yeah.
Not that easy.
It was
Yeah, I
somebody
know who
before
you're
that. I don't
Yeah.
remember his name.
Magellan?
No, he was the
No.
world, but it wasn't Magellan.
Was it Tom Tom?
No, it wasn't Tom.
Oh.
I had to make them a little harder because you guys keep getting my questions every week. So
Was his
Yeah, but
last
you-
name Garmin?
no. Here's a hint. Think of a season and think of the plant, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Wait, what was the what
Autumn
was the,
cactus.
It has something to do with the autumn season. But
Leaf?
Leaf is the first name.
Oh,
Gar-
Leif
oh, Gar-
Erikson.
Erickson. Leif
Leif Erikson.
Garrison.
Hey, good job. Okay.
So Leif Erikson.
Leaf
Leaf-
blower.
Leif
Leaf, yeah, more, yes.
Red Tornado.
Leave him alone and let him do the next question.
We can go all night. This one actually I knew off the top of my head, and I'm sure.
Wasn't
hoping-
he a Viking and wasn't he looking to conquer worlds?
Yes, he was.
Okay.
I can go into details about Leif Erikson, but we don't have not that much time to talk
All right.
about Leif
This
Erikson.
is not Vikings, the podcast.
We can call Leaf the podcast. Okay, no, okay. So next question. The War of 1812, James Madison was president. Let's give you a little backdrop a little bit. So the War of 1812, James Madison was the fourth president of the United States. Britain was still upset they lost the American Revolution against this new founded country, America. So Britain came to the United States, started burning everything in its path to start a war. The White House was being destroyed. So James Madison fled. He didn't get his wife out, so she had to flee herself. But Dolly Madison saved a famous piece of artwork, and she brought it with her, and it still hangs in the White House today. What famous artwork did she save?
So dogs playing poker.
No.
No idea.
I know this one because I've been to this house.
You been to the White House?
No, where James Madison grew up.
5'4".
Virginia.
Yes, he did grow up in Virginia. He's 5'4" with a lisp.
He had there's a plantation he was on in the house, and it went through a lot of iterations, but they're restoring it. Or they were last time I was
They
there.
are. No, you're right. You're right. But his wife saved a famous piece of artwork,
Dolly
and actually
Madison.
still hangs in the White House. It's if
Ah.
you think about it, and it's like, oh yeah, that
I
makes sense.
should know this.
The Mona Lisa?
Mona Lisa
It wasn't.
is in the Louvre in France.
It wasn't the La Guerre de Independence, was it?
No, that was in Philadelphia at the time.
Okay. No, I don't know that.
So the White House is burning down. It's a famous person in history. That's very easy now.
Portrait of George Washington?
Exactly. It was a portrait of George Washington, our founding father.
It was totally a guess, wasn't it?
It was.
I'm giving you guys clues. So
But
yeah,
I was thinking because if I'm not mistaken, in White House, the movie White House Down, they shoot George Washington, the portrait of George Washington.
Mhm. No, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Oh.
Yeah, because the White House is burning, and like literally everybody's fleeing. They're getting out. They're saving stuff. They're saving each other's lives because everything's being destroyed. James Madison already fled, which he should have saved his wife, but she literally went to the Oval Office, found the portrait of George Washington, took it off, and started running with it. So she saved it.
Dolly was a bigger badass, and he had a physical ailment. Actually,
Good.
he had a
Do you-
inability to walk correctly or something.
He did. He had a lisp too. He's very quiet, like he was like he's from Virginia and all that. But
She was the man of the family. She wore the
oh,
pants.
she was. It was like Abigail Adams was the man of the family of John Adams's family too.
Yep.
So, women power. So, all right, back to you, Hugh.
Oh, I was hoping for more questions. That was fun. Well, it seems like we should go to break and come back with the topic of the week. And I don't know what we've got from midstream because I don't have access to this mythical Google sheet that Kevin has, but we'll figure it out and we'll be right back.
The 4th annual Sci-Fi Horror Fest is coming with an all-new location, new guests, and all the same fun, charm, and camaraderie that you've come to know and love. Sci-Fi Horror Fest has a new home for 2022 at the Vernon Downs Casino and Hotel in Vernon, New York. Sci-Fi Horror Fest will be held on August 26th and 27th. Sci-Fi Horror Fest is a family-friendly event featuring fun activities, vendors, and a media area with an eclectic group of podcast personalities. Exciting celebrity guest appearances will be announced soon. For more information and to purchase tickets, go to www.sci-fi-horrorfest.com. Sci-Fi Horror Fest is currently looking for volunteers. This is your chance to be a part of the fun. Please note, details of the event are subject to change due to any lasting issues due to COVID-19. Looking for the hottest new comic on the shelf or a keyback issue to complete your run? How about that rare statue or action figure that you've scoured the internet looking for? Come to Collectibles Galore, located in North Syracuse with ample off-street parking. Collectibles Galore has a huge selection of comics, toys, and rare pop culture items you won't find anywhere else. Comics Galore is always buying comics and toys and will give you the fairest price for your collection. New customers get 15% off their first purchase in store. Collectibles Galore for all of your pop culture needs. Stop in and see for yourself why Collectibles Galore is the king of comics.
It's time for the weekly topic. Now, we go a little something different here. I want to preface the question. I want to tell you a little story before we get to the question. So I was on Facebook the other day and I saw an advertisement for a t-shirt. Now, we're going to talk about bad words. Everyone knows what the N word is. No, it wasn't a dirty dauber or dabber. Sure. Everyone knows what the N word is, but I think we all know what the R word is too. Starts with an R, ends in a D, for somebody who is a developmentally disabled in some way, shape, or form. That's a word. What was that?
Recalcitrant?
Not recalcitrant.
Oh.
We all know what the word is. Now, we don't use that word anymore, and that's fine. But I saw this, and the t-shirt said R word station, and it was in the styling of Sony's PlayStation, like it was a game console or something. And I'm like, what is that? So I just did a Google search on it, and I found that there's a guy who is physically disabled. I'm not sure if he's mentally disabled in any way, but his name is Ricky Berwick, and he actually sells a bunch of R word themed merchandise. And I think he gets away with it because he is disabled. And I was in the car with my wife and I told her about this. I'm like, I think somebody's trying to bring the R word back. And she's like, that's awful. I'm like, well, I mean, I don't think it's a word we should be using, but I think it's brave for somebody to attempt to wrest control of dialogue and language is the word I'm looking for in this day and age. Because, one of the things that's going on that a lot of people are concerned about is language is controlled. There are things you can say and there's things you can't say. And there's a good reason for some of the things you can't say. The problem is you can't talk about it either. Now, a good example that doesn't fall exactly into language, but it's from the same, groups that would go into this. It's the whole, trans people in sports thing. And I have somebody who I personally know, and it's not anyone you guys know, who has said that they're an ally, they're behind trans people, but they don't understand that aspect of it. And they really wish that they could talk to a trans person so they can make them understand, but they are legitimately afraid to ask because just asking could get them in trouble. So when I see, we're not going to talk about that. That's not a Geek Product approved subject. It looks like Corbs is frozen.
He is, or he's really
Oh,
looking into that glass pretty
Sorry.
good.
Oh man. Corbs, you still with us?
we can hear him.
I'm still here.
Okay, good. So I'm not saying I agree with this guy. Yeah, you're back. I don't agree with this guy, but anybody who's willing to challenge, our society's trying to control language, I at least say, hey, that person's got balls. I'm not saying I look up to them, but I respect them for trying. So we're having this conversation about that. And we're talking about how, a few years back, we were calling people the differently abled and things like that. And the disabled people got pissed off. They're like, we hate that. Just call us disabled. And how a lot of this ableist language, that it comes from people who aren't disabled, and it's to make them feel better about talking about disabled people. It doesn't actually help disabled people. And so I said, I understand, why someone might fight against that. And she's like, no, I don't think the R word should come back. I mean, that's like what, somebody going to bring the N word back? And I said, well, that's not the same thing. The R word and the N word, they're two completely different things. She's like, no, it's exactly the same. And I said, well, no, we didn't round up all the R words and make them pick our cotton under penalty of death, which kind of stopped the conversation right there. So with that all being said, my weekly topic for you guys is, what discontinued fast food item would you kill to have back on the menu, and why?
Seasoned fries.
Tell us about season fries, Cobb.
Where was it? We used to get those. Did Burger King have a seasoned fry
so.
at one time? No. Some place that we used to get them and they don't have them anymore.
I know KFC discontinued their potato wedges. Could you be thinking of those?
No, we didn't really go to KFC much.
I mean,
Pretty-
that's always was, yeah. Like, do you want to talk about your season fries, Cobbs? But I can think of one.
No, I pretty well swore off fast food. I mean, I eat it once in
Yeah.
a while, but I try not to.
It's exactly what you just said. Like, I don't eat fast food as much, but when I was a kid, it was just always a treat when you would always go to McDonald's and like you have small, medium, large, but then super size. we know that's not going to happen anymore, but like Kev says, I don't eat fast food as much anymore, but like when you go and get you go through the drive-through, you're 10, you're 11 years old, your mom's like, get whatever you want, and then you're like, super size it, bitch.
But there's got to be an item that you liked back then that no longer exists.
Oh gosh, but yeah, like I guess the McRib, but that comes back once in a while. I don't. That was
The McRib is so
okay,
good.
but yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of.
I don't remember. I never liked the what was it? The green shake. I never
Shamrock shake.
Shamrock. I never liked that. Never liked the McRib. I don't know.
I guess
Man, I stumped you guys.
For me is it's the Junior Mac.
Oh,
okay.
Big
Junior-
Mac. McDonald's did it was instead of a double patty, it was the single patty. So it was basically just a cheeseburger with lettuce and a special sauce on it.
oh
You can
wow.
still get them. You can still make them. I actually heard somewhere that you can order. So the Big Mac is like $75 for just the Big Mac. You can order a double cheeseburger, plain, and add lettuce and the special sauce, and still get it to taste like the Big Mac.
Oh yeah.
That
And
makes
it's
sense.
like half price of what the actual Big Mac sandwich is.
I
Try
have
that.
two things I would bring back.
Oh, I'm very interested to hear what these are.
Okay, the first one would be the bacon cheeseburger burrito at Taco Bell. That was when I was a kid. It had this tangy bacon flavored sauce on it that was amazing, and I've never tasted anything like it. The other one would be McDonald's cheddar melt, and what this was, it was a whole wheat bun, a patty, cheddar cheese sauce, and caramelized onions, and it was just amazing. It was one of those perfect sandwiches. And they had it for a while. It was actually on the menu permanently for a while. Took it away, brought it back once. I don't think it's been on there since I was like 13 though. But man, I would love to see that back.
I don't remember it.
I got
Yeah,
another one. I got another one. Taco Bell used to have a spicy chicken taco. They don't have it anymore. That was actually pretty good.
You know, their crunch or crispy cantina tacos are actually amazing, and they're bringing them back. They were just around, and a few months ago they stopped them, but they're bringing them back because they're amazing. I mean, they're $1 something, like $1.40, and I like them better than their more expensive items. Not that I should be eating a lot of Taco Bell. What was that, Kev?
You guys are making me hungry.
Yeah.
Well, then why don't we move on now? I don't know if anybody's been. I know Kevin, you've been busy riding around and stuff, but has anybody been watching anything they'd like to talk about?
I can mention one thing.
What's that?
So a couple weeks ago, as Kevin and I, when we were in Celebration, like I DVR'd something, and I was just like looking through my TV the other night. I was like, oh wow, I forgot I DVR'd that. And one of my favorite authors, her name was Doris Kearns Goodwin. She wrote a book called Team of Rivals. It's like about Lincoln's cabinet. So she did a couple, like History Channel finally is getting back to their basics, which is good. They're showing full documentaries. Yes, I'm 34 years old. Even when I was like 10 years old, I would watch a documentary, which is they're pretty, but they're fun. So she did one on Lincoln, which I already know everything about Lincoln, which was great. But I watched one with Teddy Roosevelt, so that was kind of cool. So I watched a documentary on him. It was a 2-night miniseries, like so it was 5 hours long. But it was really cool to learn more about Theodore Roosevelt. So actually, as a child, believe it or not, he actually witnessed Lincoln's funeral go by his apartment building, which is kind of neat. I never knew that, which was really neat. He actually was he wrote over 35 books in his lifetime, which was really neat, which I thought was really neat. I like that. And actually, as the president of the United States, believe it or not, think about this. You're the president of the United States. He's actually taking boxing lessons in between meetings, and he gets punched in the eye so fucking hard, and he becomes blind in one of his eyes. But he still continues to become president of the United States.
Wow.
Carry on. He was given a speech to become the president of the United States. Somebody tried to assassinate him. He was shot. He's bleeding out of his coat. They're like, "Oh my God, Theodore Roosevelt, you've been shot." He's like, "Fuck!" Like he doesn't say fuck, but he's like, "Oh my God, I still gotta give the speech though." He's bleeding out of his side, his ribs, and he still gives the speech. So
Wow.
But it was kind of cool learning more about the guy and just learning what his life was like and how he was raised. And he was almost a 3-term president, but he lost his 3rd term. He split the vote with Howard Taft. So, but it was kind of cool seeing his side of it. He was definitely a president that a lot of people, yes, they say speak softly and carry a big stick. Yes, he's called Teddy Roosevelt because he didn't shoot a teddy bear, but he did a lot of cool stuff. Rumor has it, this is only a rumor, Leonardo DiCaprio might play him in a biopic directed by Martin Scorsese. It's been shelved for a while, but it might happen. It might. So we'll see what goes on there.
He was a huge outdoorsman and a conservationist.
Yes.
He had a lot to do with why the Adirondack Park exists right now.
You're right.
I'd love to see him and Winston Churchill dropped in a Saw movie and just tear shit up.
That'd be great.
That's just me. We started watching another Apple TV show called Shining Girls, and it stars, I don't remember her name, the blonde girl from the show with Gilead where women are oppressed. What the hell is that called? Gilead, the huge hit show.
Oh, where they're all the Handmaid's Tale.
Yes, the Handmaid's Tale. Yes.
Yeah.
Is Elizabeth something? I don't know. She stars in this, and it's an interesting show. Without giving too much away, and we're only a couple episodes in. The premise appears there seems to be 2 things going on. There's a girl who a few years back, a serial killer attempted to abduct her, and he may have actually contacted her when she was much younger. But he attempts to abduct her, hurts her, cuts her up, but she escapes. And he's still out there killing, and he abducts another girl, and 7 years later, the cops are like, "Hey, do you recognize this guy?" or stuff like that. The other thing going on is she seems to be kind of unstuck in realities. So one morning she'll get up, she has a cat named Grendel, her desk is in a certain place, she lives with her mom. The next day she wakes up, Grendel's a dog, her desk is in a different place. And when she, you know, and then the one time she slips, she comes home and she's married to somebody. It's just, she never knows what's going to happen or when that's going to happen. So you got the serial killer thing going on. You've got her being kind of unstuck from reality and flitting through alternate dimensions. And then you find out the killer kind of is too. So it's a really interesting mashup of concepts. And I can't say anything bad about it because we're only a few episodes in, but I'm really interested to see where it goes.
What's the name of it?
The Shining Girls.
I'm looking at it right now.
It's Elizabeth Moss.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Moss.
Wow.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a pretty good show.
Now,
There's a show coming out on FX that I want to see. It stars Jeff Bridges. It's called The Old Man.
oh
It
yeah, me
starts,
too.
it starts tomorrow night. It's on tomorrow night on FX. So I got a DVR, so I can take a look at it.
I want to see that.
Looks
too.
pretty good. Looks pretty good.
Yeah, it does. You know where Elizabeth Moss cut her teeth, right? Where she really got her name in acting?
No,
Mad Men.
Did she now?
I never saw that.
It was so good. It's so
I've
fucked
heard
up.
that.
So
I've never
fucked
seen
up,
it
but
either.
so good. Oh my God. That was my wife and I, that was our entry into, it's what I think it was our entry into streaming, because we weren't really doing it until then, but we caught up on it. I mean, about the same time we started watching Walking Dead, also caught up on it, just jumped into it, full force, and wow, so good.
All right. Anybody else?
I mean, are we all not caught up, but we've all watched up through episode 4 of Kenobi? Is that no?
I'm all
Yes,
caught up on everything. But
Oh,
I
you watched
watched
episode
it right
5.
I watched it right before the podcast tonight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm only up to 4. So
So, all right, let's just talk about 4 for just a minute. Just a minute. What did we think of, where Reva is headed? What happened with the escape? What did we think of? What do we think of what we saw so far?
it's hard for me to answer that question after watching episode 5. I can't.
I know some things have changed.
I can't separate that.
Oh.
Well,
Maybe there's other news.
she's in the right place, Kev. We'll see what happens. She's inching closer. She'll see what she can do. So I feel like after the show is done, we should do just a Kenobi breakdown or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I think the character's good. I don't understand all the online hate. None of that makes sense.
there's haters
she's-
for everything.
She's
though.
a
You know that.
badass.
She's a great actress.
She really is. I like her role. I like everything about it. I understand that, there's been some deviation from canon, and she was not a Star Wars fan before she got the role, and that's where some of the hate is coming from.
Oh,
Because there's been
stupid.
so many actors and actresses coming into the universe that have been, huge fans, that they're starting to expect that. And you can't do that. You can't get high quality actors, that are all Star Wars fans. I mean, that'd be great if you could, but she's a powerhouse. And I just think, I don't know.
Wasn't Alec Guinness though? I know
He wasn't.
he wasn't a Star Wars fan.
He and John Williams both spoke out against Star Wars and how they
Yeah.
thought it was beneath them.
Yeah.
And with Alec Guinness, I can't say that he's not wrong.
At
Or
that
not
point
right,
in his life,
or whatever.
at that point in his life, I'm sure he had a leg to stand on, But he took the role and he did a phenomenal job, and it's unfortunate he didn't live, long enough to really reap the rewards.
Yeah.
Right.
Whatever.
This week.
What'd you say, Hugh? You got cut off. Say
I
it
said,
again.
did anyone watch this week's Miss Marvel?
I haven't seen the show yet.
Yeah, me either.
It's really good. I saw the first one. My wife saw the first one. We both love it.
You know, the second episode, I'm not going to say it's not good. I'm not going to give anything away at all. But the choice of how everything was paced, actually, I started looking at my phone halfway through
No,
because I kind of clocked out for a little bit until the end where it picked back up. And it just seemed like an odd choice. I don't know. You'll see what I mean when you watch it.
okay.
All right. Outside of midstream, does anybody have anything they want to bring up? Anything going on?
No, I can't say that.
Mm-mm.
I may not be here. I may not be here the next couple of weeks. I'm house sitting. So, so
Is your computer stationary? Like you can't bring it with you?
Yeah.
You have to sit on the roof.
Can float in the pool.
Yeah, he has to sit on the roof so that it hatches at the right time.
Can you imagine, Corbs? You're doing the podcast from the pool. You're just like, yeah, it's like you're holding it.
I'll do that one of these days.
I don't think you want to see my naked ass on the podcast.
No, definitely not.
It's a full Corb.
Corb. Write that down, Kevin.
I love you, Corbs. I'm sorry, bro.
All right, man.
It's just too good. All right. Well, if you guys don't have anything else to bring up, I guess there's only one thing to say, right, Corbs?
It's time to drop some nuggets.
All right. That's our show, folks. And megabyte me, people of all genders.
This has been a GeekPod Network production.
All right, titles, go.
Kangaroo.
The Iron Chef returns.
I eat everything.
It was just okay.
He was a Viking.
Creepy guy plays Flash.
Gentlemen only.
It was a full Corbs.
What?
Oh god.
Crap. Stop it again.
You'll just edit it. Don't worry about it.
Okay, well, let's start it over then.
So stop and start.
Yeah, because it's not going to put them together.